Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Inside My Mind gameplay as I walk you through tips and tricks on not only how to survive solo but how to dominate the lobby. Now we're going to be landing over here, this bug area by the canyon. We're getting contested. We are getting about 3 players dropping here. So I'm going to try to drop on top of the tower just because there's a chest there and a high ground. There's 2 players right below me, and we're gonna try to put damage on one guy, see if we can finish him off. Okay, so one down. Now we know there's another one below as well. So he's in the shop. I see him trying to buy a big pot, so I'm gonna try to push him before he can get the big pot off. And very nice start. 2 kills right off the back, and one was a crown player. So we know there's another guy on the other side. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to buy shockwaves here. This is the reason we land here, because it's guaranteed shockwaves every time. And we're gonna buy a big pot, and we're low on gold, otherwise I would have bought another gun, but unfortunately, we gotta make do with what we have. Now we know there's another player on the other side, and he's probably looted by now, so we just have to be careful because we're very low on ammo and we're very low on the guns we have. So we gotta play it little passive, and we gotta pick our fight. Now he's kind of busy looting, so I'm gonna try to make my way over to this chest. I also see a shotgun here which will come in handy, so I'm gonna make a run for it. This is kind of like do or die. If he sees me now, I'm in a tough situation, so I gotta get a gun. Luckily we get an AR, and we catch him off guard, we put some damage on him, and we take him out. And another clown player down. Really hectic start to this game, but you know what, it's all strategy, guys. You just gotta know when to pick your fight, and you gotta play smart, rather than being aggressive and pushing. Now I'm gonna try to find a big pot or something, try to heal up over here, and we'll pick up this pump. I'm looking for a revolver right now. Now I'm gonna kind of bait this crown right here. I think there was another player who kind of landed closer area to the canyon, so he might push the area, seeing the crown. So that's why I'm kind of chilling here, trying to see all the angles if he pushes. It doesn't look like he's coming here, so we're gonna continue looting. Now it looks like Fortnite has kind of gotten rid of crash pads. Like on the beach chest, usually you're supposed to get mini crash pad juniors, but I haven't been getting any this whole day. So I don't know if there's a glitch, or maybe they just Fortnite quickly kind of just unvaulted them. But wait, hold on, there's crash pads there, but I don't know, maybe just a supply drop. So there it is, there's the hammer. I knew there was another guy that landed in this area, so I'm gonna wait for him. Can't see if he kind of tries to rotate up. I think he's using his hammer to get up here. So let's kind of push up this corner and see if we can try to put some shots on him. Where is this guy? Where is he hammering at? We're gonna keep the high ground because we will have an advantage over it, and so I always try to stay on the high ground, one looking for a player or looking for enemy. He pops out right here. We're gonna put a couple of shots on him. He jumps down, and I'm just gonna keep shooting him, and we're able to pick him off. Now, since the OX has been, it's pretty. The OX rifle is pretty nice, but I feel like if you don't have a hollow, you're in a disadvantage. I feel like hollow twister is such amazing gun that you need to have a hollow. So we're gonna continue kind of loot up and look for a hollow twister. I'm gonna take this car here. Now mobility is very good in this game, especially when you're playing solo. They have limited the car spawns. I've been getting very less cars, so you just gotta kind of got to learn the con spot where all the car spawns, so you can just kind of rotate from a car to car. I mean, I would prefer a G-Wagon, but unfortunately we didn't get it yet. Now since I got a lot of kills early, and I'm gonna try to push this bunker because nobody's made their way there yet. I hear gunshots, but that's probably inside the tunnel where that new supply, new POI is. So I'm kind of rushing this. So I'm kind of rushing this bunker as fast as I can with my car, before somebody else comes. This When you go for a bunker, my strategy is always in and out. You got to move fast because when people are usually rotating the bunker and they see it open, they'll a lot of time camp outside, wait for you to come out, or they were waiting for somebody to go for the bunker and then just push them after. So we're just gonna kind of quickly rotate. I am pretty low on gold, so I'm gonna farm gold here. Usually it's risky doing this here, but you gotta do what you gotta do, especially since we're buying shockwaves. It's important to farm that gold when we can. And kind of just wait for a minute and loot up from these chests and continue to basically rotate out. Now as far as our loot goes, loot is looking pretty good. We got the exotic rifle, we got the central pump, and the only thing we could be looking at right now is just hollow twister, but unfortunately we haven't found one yet. So I want to get back in the car and I want to kind of just zoom by, if just in case if somebody was holding an angle or waiting for me. So just gonna try to get out of this area. See a loot over here. I'm gonna try to see if there's a hollow here. No, it doesn't look like there's a hollow here. So we're just gonna continue kind of rotating around. Okay, I see a big pot. I'm gonna change my minis for big pot. I know it's only one big pot, but still I feel like big pots are a little bit better when it comes to terms of heals. Okay, I see bunkers. I'm gonna drop my, oh, I got a hollow as well. Nice. I'm gonna drop my, what do you call, pump, and carry the bunkers. I feel like this combo of hollow with the record revolver is really OP. So the bunker will just provide me with extra covers, just in case. Especially since, like I said, cars are limited. So I hear gunshots. I'm gonna stay on top. From the sound of it, they could be bots, but I'm not gonna take any chances. I'm gonna kill the guy that's farther away first, and then focus on this guy. Now the way this guy's moving, like he's holding the edge. It could be a real player. That's what I'm saying. You can never be sure. Bots usually don't stay this close. So I'm kind of a little surprised, but I'm just waiting for him to make his way up or come in the open so I can shoot him. And when he does, he scoots back, and then we just choose the angle to push on him and finish him quickly. Now I hear this car. As soon as I hear a car, I want to go up this area, and so when he tries to look down, I can put some damage on him. He gets off the car and he's easy picking. And as soon as I see those flashes, I'm gonna try to quickly heal up and just kind of rotate out of here as quickly as possible, because there's two people we just killed, so a lot of gunfire. People can hear from far away. So we're gonna try to make our way back to the car. Where did that car go? Wait, I don't remember where I parked my car. It was right here. Hold on, is that a hollow? Oh, nice. He had a purple hollow. I almost walked past the purple hollow. Oh, there's our car. So let's get back in our car and let's continue the hunt. Now that we are getting into the end games, I'm just gonna be looking at the map, and we're gonna try to rotate in early to the next zone and get to the high ground first, and try to keep position. So I kind of marked the high ground area where we can kind of go into the mountaintops and kind of scout out players. So we do still have like 50 seconds until the next zone closes. So the main focus, like I said, is we're gonna hold now position. We're gonna be more focused on position than pushing fights. So that's our main concern right now. And I feel like majority of the good players I have eliminated. People who, like I said, are pushing for the exotics tend to be more aggressive, and whenever you eliminate somebody with an exotic, that's always a good sign. And we rather want to fight them early than in late games, when it's less space, more crowded area, and then more people in the area. Now I do hear gunshots. But my first concern was get to the gas station, fuel up, and then we're gonna make our way over there. Since it's been going on for a while, you can tell these are bots. Gotta understand the visual aids and be able to read them. So I know these are bots. So my main concern is just kind of pick them up quickly, and it will kind of help us get to the S rank level. Now I get another shot, and I back off immediately behind my car. Because I didn't know the third player was real or not. It could be a real player, it could be a bot. Turned out to be a bot, but my first concern is always get to cover, then shoot. It potentially, if it was a real player, he could have taken me out. So that's why I got in cover, then I pushed him. So we're just gonna get to our supply drop and get the boon. Main thing is the boon. It comes in really handy with that stamina. So we're just gonna get the flare. We're gonna pop it off, see if anybody's near us. I doubt anybody was near us because with all the gunfire somebody would have pushed, but you can never be sure. So we're gonna get back into our car, and we're gonna just try to rotate into the zone. Now the hive area most likely, like I said, has a lot of potential people be here. So I'm hearing gunfights. I'm gonna try to push into that zone and try to see if I can get a visual aid. Now I do see a supply drop. Since there's a supply drop coming, it's potentially a real player, so we're gonna try to bait his supply drop and see if we can put damage on him. And I see him, but I just don't have the angle. And as soon as he went behind the car, I try to take out the wheels so he doesn't run away. And now I'm just gonna try to put pressure on him using this rock as my cover. He tries to push me, and see if I'm just using the rock as a cover. I'm not over peaking, and he does put a lot of damage on me, but because I was playing with cover, I was able to take him out. Now immediately I'm gonna move away because he did drop a crown, and since I already have a crown, I can pick it up, and that's probably gonna be forcing real players who are in the zone to come for the crown. Crown is it's like a magnet. It basically attracts people. So I'm gonna go back and try to see if there's any more heals on this guy, or if somebody came in looking for the crown, and just like I predicted, somebody pulled in. Now I'm gonna try to run him over with my car, try to do some damage. Unfortunately, he just goes in, and I'm gonna try to do a right hand peek. Oh my god, he hit me hard. Alright, that was a mistake. I think I should not have pushed him too aggressively, because I was low, but I always had my backup. That's why I left the vehicle on the outside, and as soon as he got a little damage on him, I rotated out. You gotta understand when to disengage from a fight. So he's chasing me, but I'm gonna try to go get heals. Now again, you gotta have map knowledge. I knew these slurp barrels usually are here, and from previously rotating in from this area, I know the slurp truck is still there. So we're gonna go all the way up and get the slurp truck, and get our health up. That's our main priority. I know those guys over there are fighting. We can probably third party them, but since we're low on health, I think main focus should be right now to get to full health and then engage in a fight. So we'll just hit this slurp truck, and it should get us to full health. And okay, why didn't I get us to full health? But that's all right. Now since we're kind of in a safe area, first thing we want to make sure is our guns are reloaded. We're gonna go back in the bunker. I'm gonna see if there's heals here. If not, then I know there's slurp barrels here usually, and we can kind of use those to heal up. Again, it's map knowledge, understanding where heals are, and so where to go back to get heals. It's very important. And this is a safe area because we know we kind of eliminated everybody in this area. So that's another reason I came here rather than rotating somewhere else. Like we could have rotated on the other side towards the headquarters, from the hive. But this area we cleared out, we know is safe. So that's why we came back here. It's very important to understand the safe area, the dead zones, and where to rotate to when you get damage, and where your next mobility item is and stuff. So I'm gonna try to go back to that area where these guys are fighting and see if they're still there. I see the car on my left, so that's probably potentially the real guy. And I hear gunshots, so my concern is, okay, let me see if I can try to third party them. But I see the player being eliminated. So over here I'm gonna bait a third party. This guy over here is a bot. I know because of the way he's acting. So I'm gonna use my car to kill him. And I knew the other guy would push me as soon as he heard the gunshots. So my main concern right now is just putting shots on him, and we eliminate this guy as well. And I figured this is a crown player that just got that kill. So majority, like I said, all our main enemies are probably done now. We're gonna bunker up and we're gonna just loot up quickly and heal up. There's only one player left, but I don't think that last player is in this area. If he was, he would have kind of pushed already. So but you can never be safe. That's why I'm kind of healing up under the bunker. And now we're just gonna get back in the car. And since I don't know where the last player is, I'm gonna try to rotate up to the high ground, and we can keep basically high ground and try to see where he's at and try to get this win. But the last fight, like I said, I pretended to fight the bot in order to beat that guy, so he would kind of just push the fight and he'll be caught out of position. Again, it's having knowledge, understanding where the real players are and who the bots are, and try to bait real players kind of blindly pushing in for third parties. It's very important to understand how to third party, where to stop in a distance, and how to scout the opponents before you engaging. Like this guy, he just straight up pushed and he had no knowledge. He just saw where the gunshots were going and started straight up driving towards it, and which put him in a bad situation. I mean, he fell for the bait I had created for him, and it worked out perfectly, like the way we planned. I mean, I did end up on his car, and that was one for the clip where his car is just rolling away from him. But like I said, I created that opportunity by myself by understanding how casual players think and how they perform. And especially at the end of the game, sometimes people get so caught up in trying to just push for the third party, they basically put themselves in a situation where they end up dying because they don't know how to properly third party. So I'm gonna try and make videos on that as well, showing you guys how to set up baits and how to actually third party, where you don't take too much of a risk. Now we're on the high ground. This area is pretty good for us because there's only one way up here, and that's the reason I'm standing here, because I have cover behind the car, and I have cover behind this crane, and if somebody pushes me, and of course I have a launch pad here as well. Now this guy, the last guy, I'm guessing is a bot. Like I said, if it was a real player, he would have kind of pushed the area the gunshots were going on, or he would have shot at us or by already. So but again, don't want to take a risk. We're gonna stay on the high ground because it could be a camper. A lot of times you just feel like, oh, it's a bot, it's not shooting, he's here, and it's a camper just hiding and waiting, and then just gets beams on you, so you can just never be sure. So still kind of staying in the car and just looking at the angle. Like I said, this is the only way he can come up, so we have the high ground and we have the advantage. So we're just gonna keep this hill, and I know it's gonna be like a little bit taking time. It's like but gotta be patient, especially in the game. One wrong mistake can cost you the game, and we do not want to just give up this nice game just like that. So I'm just gonna patiently wait for him. I'm gonna use the launch pad and kind of just glide up here and use that to kind of scout out the guy. See if he's nearby or see him rotating in. Now this area has a lot of trees and cover, so he could just be hiding in shiny. So that's why I'm kind of just being careful. Like I said, we can use the mountain as cover. If it was on the right side and shiny, we can go on left side, to glide to get down, and if it's on the left side, we can go on the right side. So I'm gliding because I know I can use this mountain as a cover, and I can quickly come up here, and then I have the car to rotate if I do get beamed. So it's a purpose. I'm gliding with a purpose. Had it not be on this hill, I might not be using this tactic, to scout out. But we're gonna rotate over to this edge. Again, this edge doesn't have much cover, so we're gonna use the car, biggest shots, and we're gonna just pull the car back a little. He's below, so we're gonna use high ground as the angle. We got a couple of shots on him, and it looks like it's a bot, so we're just gonna go up to him, dance a little bit. And if you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button and subscribe, and thank you for watching.